Yes. Well, once again, good morning, Nigeria. There's a lot to talk about on the show this morning. You know how we do it. At some point, Ibrahim is going to take us through all the headlines on the newspaper. We get to talk about it. We have a very important interview where we get to talk about something great about Nigeria. So keep your fingers crossed and make sure that you stay tuned for that particular one. At some point, we'll then go to the Center of Unity, FCT, where we will have the brief from the FCT. We'll come back to Lagos, where the beautiful Olamide will take us through everything that has been happening with trending now. And guess what? A lot has been happening. So yes, make sure you grab your cup of coffee and let's have a very fantastic show. But we'll start with the story where a gas explosion has been reported at the Orisunmibare market off Bale Street, Orile-Iganmu, within the Coca LCD area of Lagos. Now the explosion, which reportedly occurred at about 12:13 p.m., was said to have emanated from a gas retail outlet containing multiple cylinders of varying sizes. Now, according to the statement from the Lagos State Fire and Rescue Service, swift response from the Orile-Iganmu and Ilupeju fire stations brought the situation under control, preventing further escalation after several shops were affected. Now, operations at the market are said to have been concluded. The Lagos State Fire Service, however, reported that no fatalities were recorded except for one minor hand injury sustained at the gas retail shop. I saw this news. It was on social media, quite a sad one. I hate when I see fire outbreaks because it can be very scary when you hear that sound. First of all, what gets to your mind? Are you running? What are you doing? I'm just happy that we didn't have a lot of fatalities. Then we would have been here like really sad. But there was someone who was injured. But I'm just happy that it wasn't that bad. Now the question is, this is not the first time we've seen a lot of, gas explosion and all of that. We'll ask, what are we doing to make sure that we are keeping the cylinders safe? At the end of the day, it was a lot of cylinders, like multiple cylinders together, just escalated.
Yeah, this just underscores the need for regulation when it comes to gas. Nowadays, we retail gas by the roadside and the shops are beside people's homes. In fact, I saw one gas shop beside a restaurant that, restaurants cooking, and it's there. Why should it be there? Is because there was no regulation. Nobody said, no way, you can't sell gas here. Yeah. And I think that is the job of the fire service. For all these retail gas vendors, the fire service should have a data of them, how many there are in Lagos, where they are located, and how safe is that place that they are located. Now, for these other ones that are more advanced in technology and so on, regulation. We don't have enough of that as far as gas is concerned.
And I totally agree with you, Etoma. You go to some markets, Olamide, and you are seeing gas and sun is heating the gas, all of that heat and everything, and a lot of people is congested. And you wonder, like, why is this gas not even put in an appropriate place? I remember they were telling people that don't even put gas inside your house. Make sure you put it in an airy place and all of that. But we've heard the stories one too many, and now it's happening in a market that is highly populated. The situation could have been different.
Absolutely. I often worry that Lagos is sitting on a ticking time bomb. You have gas shops, you have gas cylinders sitting side by side with generators and open flames. What do you expect to happen? Like you rightly said, Etoma, this comes into poor urban planning. These things should not, the open flame should not be next to gas cylinders. It's a hazard that is waiting to happen. I do commend the fire services for, handling it swiftly and getting in control and ahead of the situation. But real safety lies in prevention and not damage control. If we plan properly, we wouldn't have to have emergency services coming in to save the day. I think that it's very sad to see, and we need to put proper context when we're planning in urban areas. I will also raise this. A lot of people, there were some demolitions that went on over the weekend in Shoki, and people were saying you are displacing people. Sometimes you have to displace people to prevent hazards like this. So let's keep that in mind. Prevention as opposed to damage control is my stance on this.
That's right.
Of course, yes. And also we need to look at, the places we put this gas. Like she said, mixing gas with generator and all of that. At the end of the day, what are you expecting? I know that the government has a lot to do in this, but I also feel like as individuals, because sometimes we blame the government too much. And we ourselves, you see somebody who put gas and put generator. It's not the government that told you to do that. Let's be realistic here, Ibrahim.
Absolutely. Proper infrastructure has to be put in place, and if the government is failing on its own part, what about us humans? Because whenever it happens, we are the one that bear the brunt. So we have to do everything to ensure that we do not get involved in this fire disaster. Two things happened yesterday. You mentioned that of the Shoki, but talking about gas explosion. Another one happened with a 33,000 liters, tanker with a Mercedes-Benz when they collided, around, Papa Orisunmibare, side. Papa Oshodi Expressway. So it's a problem. So we just have to ensure that we have this policy. You know, there are countries where you do not have to transport gas from the depot to the retailers. You just have to ensure that what you need to have is the pipeline, the gas pipeline. But we still have people who will go there to vandalize this pipeline. So government has to do so many things. We always fall back to government, but we are our number one emergency responders. We are number one emergency safety. So everything we need to do, we have to make sure we stay safe as against problems.
Ibrahim, I totally agree with you. You know, as citizens as well, there are great things that we need to do and not just blame everything on the government. But yes, Ibrahim is ready for the newspaper review. Ibrahim, what do we have on the papers this morning?